हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम टू मनु लॉ क्लासेस। मेरा नाम गौतम दीक्षित है, जीके एंड करंट अफेयर्स फैकल्टी। आज के इस वीडियो में हम नवंबर 16, 2021 का डेली हिंदू एनालिसिस करेंगे। बिफोर आई स्टार्ट टुडेज वीडियो, two dates have become very important for CLAT aspirants 2022 and 2023. Why? Because the date has been announced for both the exam CLAT 2022 and CLAT 2023. CLAT 2022 का डेट है 8 मई 2022 एंड CLAT 2023 का डेट है 18th December 2022. Okay, it is 2022, not 2023 for CLAT 2023. Now let's start with today's newspaper. The important news coming is Purvanchal Expressway. So Purvanchal Expressway is now being inaugurated. It is 341 kilometer long, 6-lane wide Purvanchal Express connecting Lucknow to Gazipur, and it passes through important destinations like Lucknow, Barabanki, Amethi, Ayodhya, then Sultanpur, Ambedkar Nagar, Azamgarh, Mau, and then terminates at Gazipur. Now let's start with the news. So the first news is Center to disburse rupees 95,082 crore to states to sustain recovery. Now यहाँ पे जो इम्पोर्टेंट चीज़ें हैं वो ये देखना है हमें कि ये जो डिसबर्समेंट टू स्टेट गवर्नमेंट है बाय द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट, इट इज़ फ्रॉम द डिविजिबल पूल. डिविजिबल पूल का मतलब होता है कि द रेवेन्यू ऑफ द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट विच इज़ गिवन टू द स्टेट और शेयर्ड बाय स्टेट, उसमें स्टेट का भी हिस्सेदारी होता है. सो इट इज़ अ डिविजिबल पूल. नाउ द अमाउंट ड्यू was half of 95,082 crore, but the center is giving 2 times the amount which was due in November 2021 of the divisible pool, that is rupees 95,082 crore. Now ये जो fund है, this is for the capital expenditure in the state, so to sustain recovery. तो जैसा कि हम जानते हैं कि now we are out of COVID-19 pandemic disruptions, not pandemic caused disruptions, और अब हम रिकवरी की तरफ जा रहे हैं. सो इट इज़ बेटर टू इन्वेस्ट इन द कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर टू सस्टेन द रिकवरी एंड सो दैट इंडिया अचीव द एम ऑफ बिकमिंग a $5 trillion economy. Now along with that, our finance minister, who is also our finance and corporate affairs minister, Miss Nirmala Sitharaman, she has asked the state to remove the bottlenecks related to land acquisition. तो इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन में जो एक मेजर प्रॉब्लम इंडिया में जो देखी जाती है, इट इज़ अबाउट लैंड एक्विजिशन. लैंड को एक्वायर करने में बहुत प्रॉब्लम होती है. फॉर एग्जांपल, जो रिकॉर्ड्स होते हैं लैंड के, पहली बात तो वो प्रॉपर नहीं होते, वो डिजिटल नहीं होते हैं. तो उनको डिजिटल करना, फिर लैंड बैंक्स क्रिएट करना, सो दैट कि जब इन्वेस्टर्स को लैंड लेना हो, सो इट इज़ नॉट अ मेजर बॉटलनेक्स फॉर इन्वेस्टमेंट प्रोजेक्ट्स. द सेकेंड इज दैट द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट हैज़ अनाउंस्ड सेंट्रल मोनेटाइजेशन प्लान. Now center is urging the state to do the same, announcing the national monetization plan for the monetization of public sector. The next is from the Lakhimpur Kheri farmers protest incident, where on October 3rd 2021 four people were killed and the convoy of a minister rammed with the protesting farmers. Now the Supreme Court in earlier observations was not satisfied with the investigation carried out by UP police. So Uttar Pradesh, so Supreme Court had said that it is going to appoint a committee to investigate the incident into the Lakhimpur Kheri murders and violence, and it is to be by retired judge. So now the Uttar Pradesh government has agreed to the Supreme Court suggestion to appoint a retired judge to monitor the investigation into the Lakhimpur Kheri murder and violence. Let me tell you, the Lakhimpur Kheri district in Uttar Pradesh is the largest district by area in Uttar Pradesh. The next is now autopsy can be done after sunset. Autopsy क्या होता है? Once the person is dead, so उसके सारे bodies का चीड़ फाड़ होता है, cause of death का पता लगाया जाता है, साथ साथ में अगर organ donation करना है तो वो vital organs निकाले जाते हैं. ये पहले एक क्लॉज था कि सनसेट के बाद कभी भी ऑटोप्सी नहीं होगा, बट due to rapid advancement in the medical field, especially required lighting and infrastructure, performing nighttime post-mortem is now feasible. Hence, Union Health Ministry has revised the post-mortem protocol to allow for conducting the procedure after sunset. तो इससे डबल बेनिफिट हमको मिलेगा. एक तो जो डिसीज्ड कि फैमिली है उसे बहुत ज़्यादा रुकना नहीं पड़ेगा. सी इट इज़ वेरी पेनफुल व्हेन फैमिली दे हैव टू वेट फॉर पोस्टमार्टम टू बी कंडक्टेड द नेक्स्ट डे. सेकेंड, जो वाइटल ऑर्गन्स होते हैं वो अब पर्सन के डेथ के बाद धीरे धीरे काम करना बंद हो जाता है. तो अगर हम तुरंत अगर पोस्टमार्टम करते हैं तो that vital organs can be saved and can be transplanted in some needy person. So it is going to benefit the family also and is going to promote the transplantation of organs too. The next is Pradhan Mantri Modi launches Birsa Munda Museum. So November 15th, now it will be observed as Janjatiya Gaurav Divas or Tribal Pride Day in India. So on this day, our Prime Minister he has inaugurated the Birsa Munda Museum in Ranchi and he announced a welfare schemes in Bhopal on first ever Janjatiya Gaurav Divas or Tribal Pride Day. Earlier, he had inaugurated 10 museums dedicated to tribal culture and contribution, and he also inaugurated the museums which depicts the contribution to the freedom movement by the tribal people, marking the birth anniversary of tribal freedom fighter Birsa Munda. Now Birsa Munda का जो बर्थ एनिवर्सरी है वो नवंबर 15 को होता है. दैट्स वाई नवंबर 15 विल बी सेलिब्रेटेड एज जनजातीय गौरव दिवस. नाउ देयर वाज रीडेवलपमेंट ऑफ रानी कमलपति रेलवे स्टेशन इन भोपाल. द नेक्स्ट इज द सुप्रीम कोर्ट कॉलेजियम हैज अप्रूव्ड द प्रपोजल फॉर एलिवेटिंग सीनियर एडवोकेट सौरभ किरपाल एज द जज इन द दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट. नाउ मिस्टर किरपाल, ही इज द लॉयर whose effort in Supreme Court has led to the decriminalization of homosexuality, and he is gay. And Mr. Kirpal, he is a graduate from St. Stephen's College, and he has read law at Oxford University, LLM from Cambridge University, and he began his practice in Supreme Court after a stint with the United Nations. Earlier also the Delhi High Court Collegium had recommended Mr. Kirpal's name for judgeship on October 13, 2017. His file was received by the Apex Court in 2018, and the Collegium had considered and deferred its decision on September 4 of 2018 and January 16 and April 1 in 2019 and March 2 this year. The government had also in the past raised several objections, but now Supreme Court has approved his elevation as a Delhi High Court judge. Now dengue cases in the New Delhi is rising. It has crossed 5,000 and death toll it remains at 9. The next is despite ban on construction, dust pollution unchecked in many areas. So we have done about GRAP, Graded Response Action Plan, to curb pollution in capital, but still due to dust pollution is still there in many areas. हमने इसको कल भी पढ़ा था कि the rise of particulate matters in atmosphere was mainly because of a wind blowing from Thar desert which raised the dust in atmosphere. Now continuing from the first page, अब जब सेंटर ने जो डिसाइड किया है तो डिसबर्स 95,082 करोड़ रुपीस टू द स्टेट्स गवर्नमेंट. नाउ देयर आर समथिंग विच स्टेट्स आर हाईलाइटिंग, सो लेट्स डू दैट अगेन. तो अगर हम सेंटर का अगर देखेंगे तो अगर जो स्टेट्स का जो शेयर होता है डिविजिबल पूल में वो 14% होता है. उसे 14 इंस्टॉलमेंट्स में देने थे इस साल में. जो एक इंस्टॉलमेंट है वो इस मंथ था ऑन नवंबर 20. सेंटर को मंथली इंस्टॉलमेंट देना था ₹47,541 करोड़, बट नाउ सेंटर हैज़ डबल दिस अमाउंट टू 95,082 करोड़. इसके साथ नाउ सी Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma, he has said he has requested the Finance Ministry to review the Northeast Industrial and Investment Promotion Policy. Along with that, he also highlighted the need for timely release of Central Sector Scheme Fund and early approval of externally aided project worth ₹50,000 crore to Assam. देखिए स्टेट्स के कंसर्न्स हैं. देन कर्नाटका के जो चीफ मिनिस्टर हैं बसवराज बोम्मई, एंड ही हैज साउट अ ट्रांसपेरेंट मैकेनिज्म टू शेयर द लीड्स अबाउट पोटेंशियल इन्वेस्टर्स एंड क्लियर पॉलिसी ऑन फॉरेस्ट एंड एनवायरनमेंट क्लियरेंस. उसके साथ साथ स्टेट गवर्नमेंट का एक कंसर्न था कि जो एक्साइज ड्यूटी कट हुआ है ₹5 ऑन पेट्रोल एंड ₹10 ऑन डीजल, इट विल बी शेयर्ड बाय स्टेट्स ऑल्सो. बट नाउ द फाइनेंस मिनिस्ट्री हैज सेड नो, द रिसेंट एक्साइज ड्यूटी कट्स will be from the shareable pool of will not be from shareable pool of taxes, it will entirely be borne by central government. The next is the center amends rule to clear the tenure extension. इसके बारे में एक एडिटोरियल भी है आज. तो एक ऑर्डिनेंस आया है अंडर आर्टिकल 123 promulgated by the president which has extended the tenure of directors of the CBI and Enforcement Directorate from 2 years to up to 5 years on case basis. So एक fundamental rules है, the fundamental rules 1992 where the certain services are listed whose tenure can be extended more than 2 years on a case by case basis. So this post are Defense Secretary, Foreign Secretary, Home Secretary, Director of Intelligence Bureau, Secretary of Research and Analysis Wing. इसमें दो पोस्ट नहीं थे, एक डायरेक्टर CBI and the next one was Director Intelligence Enforcement Directorate. But now the clause D of Rule 56 of Fundamental Rules 1922 has been amended and now it also includes CBI Director under the Delhi Special Police Establishment Act 1946 and Director of Enforcement in the Directorate of Enforcement appointed under Central Vigilance Commission Act 2003. यहाँ पे जो है द एक्सटेंशन ऐसा नहीं है कि 5 साल एक बार अपॉइंट हुए तो 5 साल नहीं, 5 साल तक का मैक्सिमम सीलिंग है एक्सटेंशन देने का. ओके, एंड इट विल बी गिवन ऑन केस टू केस बेसिस एवरी ईयर. उसके बाद द सेंटर हैड रेट्रोस्पेक्टिवली, अब पिछले साल की बात है कि संजय कुमार मिश्रा जो डायरेक्टर हैं ईडी के, इनका जो टेन्योर है वो 2020 में ख़त्म होने वाला था बट इनको 1 साल की एक्सटेंशन और दी गई थी. ओके, बट वी हैव टू सी वेदर ही विल गेट एक्सटेंशन दिस टाइम और नॉट. नाउ दिस लास्ट पैराग्राफ इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. यहाँ पे आपको काफ़ी स्टैटिक टाइप के क्वेश्चंस मिलेंगे या जीके टाइप के क्वेश्चंस मिलेंगे, उनके आंसर्स भी मिलेंगे. सो सी द अपॉइंटमेंट्स कमिटी ऑफ द कैबिनेट, ओके, इट गेव अ 1 year extension to Home Secretary Ajay Kumar Bhalla, okay, whose tenure was going to end on August 22nd. Then on May 28, 1 year extension was given to Intelligence Bureau Director Arvind Kumar. So who is the Director of Intelligence Bureau? Arvind Kumar. Then Law Secretary, he was also given the extension. So who is the Research and Analysis Wing Secretary? Sumant Kumar Goyal. Now government moves reopening of Kartarpur corridor. ये करतारपुर कॉरिडोर जो है it is the corridor connecting two Gurudwara, that is Baba Dera Nanak on the Indian side and Nankana Sahib on Pakistan side, and Gurudwara at Kartarpur where Guru Nanak Dev died. Now on the occasion of Guru Parv or Prakash Parv, which is in this week, now the government is considering to reopen Kartarpur corridor for Sikh pilgrims. Now ये जो करतारपुर कॉरिडोर है it is just 4.7 kilometer long. Now earlier what was the case that if somebody wants to visit Nankana Sahib and Kartarpur Gurudwara, then they had to go through Attari border after taking visa from Pakistan, and it was a very long journey, but it means approximately 200 kilometer. But the Kartarpur corridor has lessened the travel time. अगर हम अब पाकिस्तान की बात करें, so Pakistan is saying that the corridor is open from its side, and Pakistan government has said it has already issued around 3,000 visas to Sikh pilgrims to visit Gurudwara in Pakistan. Okay, now the Indian government has to take a decision. The Indian government has closed the Kartarpur corridor from its side due to COVID-19 pandemic. The next is Project Siren Award for the Hindu. So what is this Project Siren? पहले Project Siren के बारे में जानते हैं. So Project Siren, it is an initiative of the India Mental Health Observatory under the Center for Mental Health Law and Policy, and it systematically track reports on suicides in major English newspapers and online news publication to promote responsible reporting. Now the Hindu, it has been awarded this Project Siren Award for newspapers 2021. Why? For its consistent high performance on Project Siren scoreboards, which measures responsible reporting on suicide between June 2020 and 21. The next is historian Baba Saheb Purandare, who was also a Padma Vibhushan awardee. He passed away recently. He was considered as authority on 17th century Maratha warrior king Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. The next is an appointment for Chamu Krishna Shastri. He is the founding member of RSS affiliated Sanskrit Bharati, the mission of Sanskrit Bharati is to revive Sanskrit as a spoken language. Now he has been appointed to chair a new high-powered committee for the promotion of Indian languages according to the circular issued by Ministry of Education. Now the member secretary of this committee will be Vice Chancellor of Sri Lal Bahadur Shastri National Sanskrit University. Okay, and the panel is also expected to advise the ministry on revitalizing languages. The tenure of this committee is for 2 years. The next is the number of Indian students in United States dropped to a 5-year low last year. So according to the report by the Open Door, which is an annual survey, Open Door 2021, an annual survey conducted by International Institute of Education in partnership with the State Department, it has said that the number of Indian students in the United States has dropped to 13.2% in 2020-21, which is a 5-year low of 1.67 lakh. Now, but still India remains the second highest country of origin among international students in American universities. Next is on a reciprocal basis or reciprocity, the quarantine norms have been lifted for travelers from 99 countries. Some of the countries have been mentioned over here, and the passengers who have got the vaccination of fully vaccinated persons, they don't have to go for compulsory quarantine. Similarly, Singapore has announced that it will allow quarantine free travel for travelers from India November 29. It is going to open vaccinated travel lanes for Finland, Indonesia, Malaysia, Sweden along with India. The next important is very important is Rashtriya Raksha Samarpan Parv. Rashtriya Raksha Samarpan Parv. It is an event which will be inaugurated on November 17, and it will be organized in Jhansi Fort on November 19. So November 19 is also the birth anniversary of Rani Lakshmi Bai. So this event is going to be organized by Ministry of Defense along with Uttar Pradesh government. Now on this Rashtriya Raksha Parv, the Union government will hand over the indigenous light combat helicopter to the Indian Air Force, then drones built by startups to the Army, and electronic warfare suits to the Navy at the 3-day celebration, that is Rashtriya Raksha Samarpan Parv, which will be held in Jhansi. एलेट में खास करके इस टाइप के इंफॉर्मेशन को बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंस दिया जाता है और इस टाइप के इंफॉर्मेशन को पूछा भी जाता है. ओके, नाउ इट इज़ द पार्ट ऑफ आज़ादी का अमृत महोत्सव सेलिब्रेशन. नाउ अबाउट द LCH, द ट्विन इंजन LCH, which is designed and developed by Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. It is a 5-ton class dedicated combat helicopter. Now the important point about LCH is that it is the only attack helicopter in the world which can land and take off at an altitude of 5,000 meters with considerable load of weapons and fuel. Now where it will be deployed? So it is very simple, क्योंकि ये high altitude पे भी take off कर सकता है. So it will be deployed along the line of actual control with China along with Apache helicopter. Then the Prime Minister will also hand over the DRDO designed and BHEL manufactured advanced electronic warfare suits to the Navy for installation on all the frontline warships, including aircraft carrier Vikrant. So Indian aircraft carrier INS Vikrant is the indigenously built aircraft carrier by Cochin Shipyard Limited. अभी के लिए इंडिया के पास एक ही एयरक्राफ्ट कैरियर है, that is INS विक्रमादित्य, which was bought from Russia. Earlier it was known as Admiral Gorshkov. The next is the urban factors, not farm fires, are the causes of pollution here. The Supreme Court is saying that if we go by the figure, then the stubble burning contributes only 10% of the air pollution. Majority of the pollution which is coming is from urban factors such as construction activities, industry, vehicular exhaust and road dust, which were the major causes of pollution in Delhi. The next is the environment. इसी से जुड़ता हुआ न्यूज़ है कि our environment minister Shri Bhupendra Yadav has said that he will meet the officials of Delhi, Punjab, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh to review the steps taken to address air pollution, and he has already met the officials from Central Pollution Control Board. Now अब हम यहाँ पे देखते हैं, थोड़ा सा एक जोग्राफिकल फैक्टर है, इसको समझते हैं. अगर विंड स्पीड 10 से लेके 15 किलोमीटर पर आवर है और टेम्परेचर बहुत ज़्यादा वार्म है, तो जो छोटे छोटे पार्टिकुलेट मैटर्स होते हैं वो एटमॉस्फेयर में नीचे की तरफ नहीं पाए जाते हैं. ओके, दे आर ब्लोन अवे एट द ग्रेटर हाइट and hence the low lying area is clear of dust, means less pollution. But अगर weather warm नहीं है, weather cold है, तो what happens that these pollutants are not dispersed to larger height and they remain suspended near the ground, increasing the pollution. Second is, एक पूरा अगर हम Indo-Gangetic plain देखें, which is very far away from the sea, it acts like a air shield. ठीक है ना. तो पूरा दिल्ली, हरियाणा, पंजाब, ईस्टर्न उत्तर प्रदेश, ये एक पूरा एयर शेड है. मतलब कि यहाँ का जो एटमॉस्फेरिक कंडीशन है वो लगभग सेम होता है. मतलब कि अगर स्टबल बर्निंग हरियाणा में होता है या पंजाब में होता है या ईस्टर्न उत्तर प्रदेश में होता है तो उसका इम्पैक्ट दिल्ली में भी पड़ेगा, बिकॉज दे आर ऑल पार्ट ऑफ सिंगल एयर शेड. नाउ द की सोर्सेज ऑफ पार्टिकुलेट मैटर्स आर रोड डस्ट, व्हीकल एग्जॉस्ट फ्रॉम ट्रांसपोर्टेशन, बर्निंग ऑफ वुड फॉर हीट एंड कुकिंग एंड फ्रॉम हैवी इंडस्ट्री. देन दिवाली में क्या हुआ कि विंड का डायरेक्शन चेंज हो गया. वैसे ही पॉल्यूटेंट्स थे फायर क्रैकर्स के वजह से, विच इंक्रीज द पॉल्यूशन लेवल टू वेरी डेंजरस लेवल अबव 500 इन दिल्ली. नाउ द नेक्स्ट इज द सेंटर हैज़ नोटिफाइड द ट्रांसफर ऑफ मद्रास हाई कोर्ट चीफ जस्टिस. तो अंडर आर्टिकल 222 ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, द प्रेसिडेंट आफ्टर कंसल्टेशन विद द चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया can notify the transfer of High Court Chief Justices. So now the Law Ministry on Monday has notified the transfer of Madras High Court Chief Justice Sanjeev Banerjee to Meghalaya High Court after President Ram Nath Kovind has accepted the Supreme Court Collegium's recommendation of transfer. Now the Supreme Court Collegium had recommended the transfer of Justice Banerjee from Madras High Court, where the sanction strength is 75, to the High Court, Meghalaya High Court, where the total strength currently is of only 2 judges. He was appointed to Madras High Court just 10 months before. Next is ICMR moves one change in cattle rearing practices and shift from coal. हम एक नया कॉन्सेप्ट आया हुआ है, that is called as One Health. That is called as One Health. Now what is this One Health? वन हेल्थ का मतलब होता है कि ह्यूमन बींग्स, प्लांट, एनिमल, सबकी हेल्थ अच्छी होनी चाहिए. मीन्स ह्यूमन बींग्स एंड एनिमल्स की, तभी जो है हेल्थ सब अच्छा रहेगा. क्योंकि कोविड-19 के टाइम जो ये ट्रांसमिशन ऑफ कोविड-19 है, कोरोना वायरस है, इट इज़ बीइंग एज्यूम्ड दैट इट गॉट ट्रांसमिटेड फ्रॉम बैट. नाउ इंडियन काउंसिल ऑफ मेडिकल रिसर्च जो है वो एनिमल हस्बेंड्री के बारे में क्यों कह रहा है? बिकॉज ऑफ दिस कॉन्सेप्ट कॉल्ड एज वन हेल्थ, विच इट इज सेइंग दैट we should shift away from traditional animal husbandry practices and we should wean away, mean we should give away coal as the main source of energy to combat climate change. Now if we just go on discussing, then we will see that the already US and European Union have jointly pledged to cut emission of greenhouse gas methane by 2030 by 30% compared with 2020 level. अगर हम इंडिया की बात करें, so India is the third largest emitter of methane because of the size of its natural economy, rural economy and very large cattle population. देखिए cattles are one of the main source of methane along with rice field. So because of this India has the largest population of cattle and hence India is the third largest emitter of methane. The next is the European Union. The 27 country European Union has imposed sanction on airlines of Belarus ड्यू टू माइग्रेंट क्राइसिस. तो यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है कि बेलारूस के जो प्रेसिडेंट है लुकाशेंको, इन्होंने क्या किया कि कुर्दिश माइग्रेंट्स को अपने कंट्री में ले आए और देन फ्रॉम देयर ही इज़ पुशिंग द कुर्दिश माइग्रेंट्स टू गो टू क्रॉस ओवर टू पोलैंड, विच हैज़ लेड टू यूरोपियन यूनियन नाउ टू इम्पोज फ्रेश सैंक्शंस ऑन बेलारूस एयरलाइंस. The next is US journalist detained in Myanmar released. So US journalist Danny Fenster, he was imprisoned in Myanmar since May. Now he has been released and deported on Monday. Okay, a day before he was due to face terror and sedition charges that would have jailed him for life. Now Danny Fenster, he had been working at a local outlet Frontier Myanmar for around a year, and he was arrested as he was headed home to see his father in May. The next is the होलसेल प्राइस इंडेक्स इन्फ्लेशन क्विकन्स टू 12.5%. ये इकोनॉमिक्स का आज सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट न्यूज़ है. सो इन्फ्लेशन इन होलसेल प्राइजेस इट हैज़ हिट अ 5-month हाई ऑफ 12.5% इन अक्टूबर. सितंबर में इट वाज 10.7%. नाउ कभी भी इन्फ्लेशन हम पढ़ें तो हमको उसके रीजंस के बारे में जानना बहुत ज़रूरी है कि कौन कौन से सेगमेंट में इन्फ्लेशन हो रहा है. तो यहाँ पर अगर आप देखेंगे तो एक ब्रॉड बेस्ड सर्ज है इन प्राइजेस ऑफ मोस्ट कमोडिटीज़ लाइक फ्यूल एंड पावर, वेजिटेबल, एनिमल ऑयल एंड फैट. यहाँ पे देखिए फूड इन्फ्लेशन मेंशन नहीं है. यहाँ पे पर्टिकुलरली 3 सेक्शंस दिए गए हैं, फ्यूल एंड पावर, वेजिटेबल, एनिमल ऑयल एंड फैट. अगर हम देखें तो इन्फ्लेशन इन फ्यूल एंड पावर सबसे ज़्यादा है, दैट इज़ एट 37.2%, जो सितंबर में इट वाज ओनली 25%. अगर हम मैन्युफैक्चर्ड प्रोडक्ट्स का देखें तो इट इज़ एट 12%. उसके बाद अगर हम इलेक्ट्रिसिटी में देखें तो 19% है. और अगर हम क्रूड ऑयल प्राइसेस को देखें तो इंडेक्स फॉर नेचुरल गैस हैज सर्ज 31% हाई. अगर हम फूड प्राइस इंडेक्स देखें तो देखिए वो सिर्फ 3.06 है कंपेयर टू 1.14% इन सितंबर, मतलब एक मार्जिनल इंक्रीज ही हुआ है. देन आवर फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर हैज सेड दैट the index of industrial production which fell to 2.6% month on month basis in September, and the year on year growth has moderated to 3.1%. Then also the manufacturing index in IIP has held steady and is likely to rise in subsequent month. The recent decrease was mainly because of the mining sector was hit by rain, and there was a crisis in coal mining and then the power generation. The next is American Air reintroduces flights to India. So American Airlines on Monday it has said it is going to reintroduce flight services to India after a gap of 10 years, connecting New Delhi with New York. The next is Indian coffee output hit by rains. तो इंडिया में अगर हम देखेंगे जो 2 पॉपुलर वैरायटी हैं, एक है अराबिका कॉफ़ी, दूसरा है रोबस्टा. नाउ बिकॉज ऑफ रेन इन सितंबर the output will be hit. The coffee berries has been damaged because of excessive rain, plant damage and bean splitting and berry dropping. Now we will see the phenomena. The Brazil, the largest producer of coffee, तो ब्राज़ील में फ्रॉस्ट के वजह से जो है there is a supply shortage of coffee in the international market, and since there was a shortage of supply from Brazil, so coffee from India was in very great demand, which brought relief to coffee growers in Karnataka and other areas. Now the next is about win the toss and ice the chase, what worked in the United Arab Emirates. So it is about Australia's performance winning the 7th edition of ICC Men's T20 World Cup, where Australia has won the World Cup. The next is very important that no Indian has figured in ICC's team of the tournament. So ICC's T20 World Cup team of the tournament comprises players from 6 different countries, and Pakistan's Babar Azam was named captain of the squad. Now there is no name of any Indian players in this team. The next is Shastri roped in as LLC commissioner. So former Indian chief coach Ravi Shastri has been roped in as the commissioner of the Legend League Circuit, which is a professional event for retired players. Now then, if Ravi Shastri has retired from the coach of India, then who is the present coach of cricket team? Rahul Dravid. The next is Bhavana Devi receives Arjuna Award. So CA Bhavani Devi, the first Indian fencer to participate in the Olympics, she has received the Arjuna Award from Union Sports Minister Anurag Thakur. Now the editorials. Exception to the rule. यहाँ पे इस editorial में एक जजमेंट की बात हुई है, विनीत नारायण वर्सेस यूनियन ऑफ इंडिया, which has laid down a dictum that the directors of the CBI and ED should have a minimum tenure of 2 years. ऐसा क्यों किया गया था कि there should be minimum tenure, मतलब कि the doctrine of pleasure of the government should not be applicable to the sensitive and very important posts like directors of CBI and ED, and they should have a functional autonomy, especially if they are investigating any case which can go against the government. Now, as we have already read that the government has introduced an ordinance empowering government to go for the maximum 5-year extension on case basis. सो यहाँ पे SK मिश्रा जो एनफोर्समेंट डायरेक्टरेट के डायरेक्टर हैं, उनको पिछले साल एक्सटेंशन मिला था, उस पर सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कोई ऑब्जेक्शन नहीं किया था, बस इतना कहा था कि द एक्सटेंशन ऑफ टेन्योर ग्रांटेड टू ऑफिसर्स हु हैव अटेन्ड द एज ऑफ सुपरएनुएशन शुड बी डन ओनली इन रेयर एंड एक्सेप्शनल केसेस एंड देन ऑल्सो फॉर अ शॉर्ट पीरियड। ऐसा सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने क्यों कहा था? इसके लिए कहा था कि कभी कभी क्या होता है, if there is some director and he may be involved in some investigative cases, so let that investigative cases get completed and then the new director should be appointed to maintain the continuity. Okay, but it also, the Supreme Court has also said that no further extension shall be granted to him. So it is, though the government has amended the fundamental rule, but still the government may not provide extension to Sanjay Mishra, to SK Mishra. Now the protection given by the fixed tenure, जैसे कि गवर्नमेंट ने जो विनीत नारायण केस में 2 साल का सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जो टेन्योर फिक्स किया था, and the appointment of these people from the high ranking committee to which recommends the appointment, it was meant to dilute the doctrine of pleasure which is implicit in civil services. यहाँ पे doctrine of pleasure का मतलब कि the executive जब चाहे तब किसी को भी appoint कर सकता है, किसी को भी निकाल सकता है. So this goes against the independence of the institution which is sacrosanct in functioning democracies like India. But if it is breached, okay, if the extension is allowed, then it is going against the principle of institutional independence. The next article, a return to form, is about the Australia winning the ICC T20 World Cup. So it is about the achievement of the team and how the team which was struggling from past few years has now come in the form. The second is about Pegasus inquiry. This is very important editorial for today. जिनको भी पेगासस के हिस्ट्री के बारे में जानना है, अभी तक क्या हुआ है पेगासस में, उसके बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन चाहिए, और क्या कंट्रोवर्सी है, कितने लीगल एंगल्स हैं, व्हाट इज द एंगल फ्रॉम प्राइवेसी, द एंगल फ्रॉम नेशनल सिक्योरिटी साइड. सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जो अक्टूबर 27, 2021 में जो कमेटी बैठाई थी उसके बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन क्यों बैठाई थी, तो ये सब कुछ इसमें इस आर्टिकल में बहुत ही अच्छे से एक्सप्लेन किया हुआ है. सो दिस आर्टिकल स्टार्ट्स विद that this Pegasus spyware issue is similar to the Watergate scandal of 1970s when US President Richard Nixon was surrounded with that. But here also in India, several times in past, the Pegasus issue, the snooping by Pegasus was raised, but government was completely inactive while giving any answers in parliament. Okay, the issue was totally stonewalled and no reliable information or no reliable commitment came from the government. Under that background, the Supreme Court appointed a 3-member committee, expert committee, to conduct an investigation in the Pegasus snooping case, saying that the government, if the government appoints an inquiry committee for investigating the snooping charges, it is like the culprit is selecting its own judge. Okay, the next is that privacy, which is a sacrosanct right, so the snooping can be justified only on 3 counts. The restriction must be by law, it must be necessary and only if other means are not available, and proportionate, and it must promote a legitimate state interest, that is national security. But without establishing this justification, the government cannot use national security in the case of Pegasus. Okay, now the Supreme Court has said that state cannot rely on the excuse of national security. The leaked list of phone numbers, which includes those of journalists, politicians, lawyers, only raises the suspicion of abuse of surveillance power. Then the Supreme Court goes on saying that if every time this national security is rising, okay, the issue of national security is rising, that doesn't mean that judicial review is beyond that the national security is beyond the judicial review. Then this snooping, it injures freedom of speech. It has chilling effect on freedom of speech of people and freedom of media, and there is a fear of self-censorship. Okay. Now the Supreme Court must go ahead with this report, and it should reach to a conclusion to protect the rights enshrined in Part 3 of the Constitution, because such snooping undermines democracy and converts elected leaders into absolute dictatorship. So the Supreme Court Committee and Bench has the onerous of resurrecting the constitutional scheme of rule of law. It is saying that it is a job of the Supreme Court to protect the right to privacy, since the right to privacy is the fundamental right of the country, and snooping by Pegasus software or any other software goes against the right to privacy. And the US has already blacklisted the NSO group, which is the manufacturer of Pegasus software. The next is the EU's role in the Indo-Pacific. So European Union, it is growing the clout in the Indo-Pacific region. So over here, by being more assertive with China and more cooperative with India, the EU can create a vantage position for itself. So EU, which is a major economic power, okay, it has an excellent chance of success in its trade negotiations with countries in the Indo-Pacific region like Australia, Indonesia, and New Zealand. Then in concluding discussions for an economic partnership agreement with the East African Community, and forging fisheries agreements and green alliance with interested partners to fight climate change. Now EU में एक प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि EU में मार्क डिवीजन है, दो साइड्स है, एक जो चाइना को फेवरेबली व्यू करता है, दूसरा जो चाइना के असर्टिवनेस को एक कंसर्न की नज़र से देखता है. Okay, so they believe that neither China's dominance in Asia nor bipolarity leading to a new Cold War will serve Europe's interest, and hence Europe's participation in Indo-Pacific geopolitical arena is very essential. Now the debacle of demonetization. तो हम जैसे कि जानते हैं आज से 5 साल पहले नवंबर 8, 2016 को ₹500 and ₹1000 were नो लॉन्गर अ लीगल टेंडर. अब यहाँ पे पूरा एक टाइमलाइन दिया गया है पूरे इस इशू का. तो जो सबसे पहला है चेंजिंग गोल पोस्ट, मतलब कि पहले गवर्नमेंट ने डीमोनेटाइजेशन अनाउंस किया ऑन द रीज़न टू टैकल द ब्लैक मनी. फिर आरबीआई का रिपोर्ट आया जहाँ पे ये कहा गया कि 99% ऑफ द कैश हैज़ कम बैक टू द बैंकिंग सिस्टम. तो अब यहाँ पे फिर क्या हुआ कि गवर्नमेंट का जो टैकलिंग द ब्लैक मनी वाला जो कॉन्सेप्ट था ये थोड़ा सा फेल हुआ. तो गवर्नमेंट ने अपना गोल पोस्ट रखा कि वी आर गोइंग टूवर्ड्स लेस कैश सोसाइटी. अगर हम लेस कैश सोसाइटी को ही अगर एक गोल माने तो हम उसमें कितना सक्सेसफुल हुए हैं. वी आर द कैश लेवल इन इंडियन इकोनॉमी इज स्टिल वेरी हाई एट 11.5%. अब अगर हम देखें कि कैशलेस इकोनॉमी को किसी और तरीके से हम कर सकते थे क्या विदाउट डिमोनेटाइजेशन, सो द आंसर इज येस. That if we would have tweaked certain changes in Income Tax Act requiring all large value transactions to be made by check or electronic means, then it would have been possible. Second is that one of the negative impact of demonetization was impact on MSME sector. जो MSME sector होता है वो कैश पे बहुत ज़्यादा डिपेंड होता है. जैसे ही कैश निकला सिस्टम से the MSME sector it crippled. Then third is it imposed very much hardship on इंडियन सिटीजन्स, बिजनेसेस, MSME सेक्टर्स, सप्लाई चेन. और आज हम देखेंगे कि जो MSME जो स्ट्रगल कर रहा है इंडिया में, वन ऑफ द मेन रीज़न इज़ डिमोनेटाइजेशन फॉलोड बाय GST इम्प्लीमेंटेशन एंड देन पैंडमिक. द नेक्स्ट इज़ अबाउट द पार्टीज एंड देयर अननोन सोर्सेज ऑफ इनकम. तो एक डेटा आया है फ्रॉम द एसोसिएशन फॉर डेमोक्रेटिक रिफॉर्म्स विच शोज दैट 55% ऑफ द फंड्स रिसीव्ड बाय द रीजनल पार्टीज इन financial year 20 were from unknown sources. Now income from unknown sources क्या होता है? Donations that are made without the details of the donors, जैसे कि जो भी पैसा इलेक्टोरल बॉन्ड्स, सेल ऑफ कूपन्स, मिसलेनियस इनकम और वॉलंटरी कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशंस के थ्रू आता है. इलेक्शन कमीशन में जो पार्टीज होती हैं वो प्रोवाइड करती हैं डोनर्स के सारे डिटेल. ओके, एंड सच डोनेशंस आर रेफर्ड टू एज इनकम फ्रॉम नोन sources, but जो income from known sources है, it is only 23% of the total funds received by the regional parties. The rest of the 22% are in an asset form. Now, if we just see 5 regional parties, Telangana Rashtriya Samiti, Telugu Desam Party, Biju Janata Dal, YSR Congress and DMK, they have received most of their funds through unknown sources, and almost all of them were through the electoral bond route. So that's all for today. We will meet tomorrow again with a daily Hindu analysis. Till then, have a nice day. Take care. Thank you.